So may I now request Mr. Anshul Abhang, founder and managing director of Fluxonix, to please share his thoughts.
Very good evening to all of you. As rest of the speakers have already shared that where exactly are we going, what kind of digitalization that we are talking about. I must first of all excuse myself if the presentation has become a bit technical, but I'll try to explain it in more simpler words. So we all know what is the trigger exactly. The trigger is that everyone wants to reach out to masses, everyone wants to make quick money, right? And everyone wants to sit at a beach and just earn money by using the technology, right? So due to which what we see in today's world is a complex IT environment which has been depicted in the picture. So what kind of threats do we talk about nowadays, right? So we have got threats from the consumerization of IT, which is basically the cloud, we can say very simply, or the social side of it, that is the employees using social portals like we can say Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth. Then talking about the mobile phones, and then comes the cloud and the virtualization. That is basically the shared space out of it. Right. So let's talk in detail what exactly are we talking about. So when we talk about security, started with hacking, right? What exactly was hacking? That is getting into someone's system. Then slowly it was evolved as cybercrime. A more sophisticated type of attacks came into picture. And then what we see is corporate espionage or cyber espionage, that is stealing someone's data with a specific purpose. And today we are talking about cyber warfare. That is the advanced part of it. So what are the trends when we talk about such kind of attacks? So first are the mobile threats. So I have a very simple question out here, like how many of you use smartphones? I guess almost all of you use smartphones, right? How many of you have antivirus installed on it? Okay. And the next question is that antivirus registered? Right? So when we talk about security out here, yes, everyone is aware that there has to be some kind of security, but still there are no proactive countermeasures that we take about it. All the countermeasures are all reactive. That if something happens, then only I'll do it. And talking about today's mobile threats, yes, they are increasing very rapidly. What are they? I won't get into much details. The second type of attacks are targeted attacks, that is with a specific purpose. A company or an individual is going to attack a particular infrastructure to get out a particular deliverables. Next are the social media, and then comes the attack kits. So what exactly are the attack kits? These are the softwares which are available there on the internet, which you can download, which you can buy, using which just with a click of a button you can just go and do a particular attack and you will get the outcome with it. So I'm going to throw some statistics so that the seriousness of the situation can be projected very well out here, right? So how many mobile phones does the India has? Over 771 million. If we look at the statistics, that is in 2015, 3 out of 5 mobile phones are going to be smartphones in Asia Pacific except Japan, right? This is the IDC survey. That is the smartphones, the phones that we are using. So everyone is going to use smartphones or the phones to do the transaction. That is 3 out of 5. And how the malicious softwares have been propagated nowadays by using such kind of internet technologies. Whenever we have a smartphone, I'm very sure that everyone uses smartphone to do online transactions, right? So if you don't have an antivirus, what can happen? Or if you don't have a security, what can happen is a very simple thing. What Mr. Duggal also said is that a particular software that today company uses to monitor someone's activity, malicious, with a malicious intent, the hackers use it to control somebody's mobile phone. That is, which is usually called as a Trojan. There are certain mobile Trojans. For example, Trojans made for BlackBerry. I can install that on somebody's BlackBerry by using a simple link that I can send it to him. Once the Trojan gets installed, I can practically turn on the camera. I can read emails. I can listen to the calls. I can make a call. I can even send a SMS. So that is the level of control that I can get over someone's device. So that's the other part of the story. So what are the advanced persistent threats? Today we don't talk about the regular threats, we talk about the APTs, that is advanced persistent threats, the threats that keep on evolving, right? they are very dynamic in nature. Every time there will be a separate kind of attack vector, separate kind of attack surface that we are always talking about. If you ask me how does a malware or a virus spreads, almost all of them spread to the removable devices. So that is one of the things or the ideas behind it. So I'm just skip the social media part of it and directly going to go to the cloud. So why everyone is going to the cloud? I mean, why now? If you ask me, cloud is nothing different than what we used to see earlier, that is software as a service. Just as a marketing gimmick, I should say, everyone is calling it as a cloud, we are on cloud. We had one of these clients who kept on saying that, nowadays all the applications that we do are on cloud. So we just asked them what kind of applications you have. So they were talking about the same kind of ERPs that were there 10 years back. Right, same kind of application that they were producing 10 years back, but the only terminology that they used was they were on cloud. So what is the school of thought out here? Like, what are we looking at? What is the most important thing? So if you look at the old school of thought, that is, go rob a bank and then go to South America, that is probably Mexico, where you can hide and no one will touch you. But what is the new school of thought? You sit at home, okay? You don't steal it from a bank, but you steal 1 rupee from probably lakhs of users. To give you a simple example, there was this classic case where, the money was debited from the users' mobile phones, right? So one of the telecom operators, they were doing this. Where 1 paisa was deducted from everyone's balance. So user will never understand. If I ask you a very simple question that if 1 paisa is deducted from your balance, if you will understand it or not, no. But when you multiply this 1 paisa by millions of users, you are probably making millions of rupees, right? So coming down to the data, like what is the value of data today? So this kind of data is available for selling on the internet nowadays. So you can practically buy this data out from the internet. Even I have written the pricing for this kind of data. So this is the value of data today. So when you go on the cloud, this is the risk that you are exposed to, in short. So this is a cloud computing in nutshell, right? Mr. Bahal as well as Mr. Duggal had already spoken about it, but it's a diagrammatic representation of the same what we are talking about cloud. So what are the essential characteristics that we are talking about? That is broad network access, that anyone will be able to access the particular software. Rapid elasticity, that is, it is a rapid customizable program. On-demand self-service, I just pay for the service using my credit card and I'll be on cloud. That is the kind of things that we are talking about. What are the service models? Software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. The beauty of cloud is that multiple vendors can provide these services. I don't need to have one vendor to provide all these services to me. So this is a multiple, stakeholder model. So that's why the risk increases. What if I am, sourcing, let's say, software as a service from one vendor, infrastructure as a service from another, and they might be, located in some different countries. So that's where the risk increases. The deployment models are public, private, hybrid, and community. From the risk perspective, the highest risk lies in the hybrid models as well as the community models. So benefits of going to cloud, obviously we are talking about money. If I want to save the money, yes, I'll be definitely there on the cloud. So I'll just skip this slide. About security, yes, 50% of companies think that they want to go for cloud security. That's what the survey says. So now coming down to the technical aspects of it. So what are we talking about when it comes to cloud? So first thing is that where is my data? Like in which country my data is actually going to reside? Because I can use my laptop, I can use the desktop-based application and upload my data somewhere else. Just to give you a simple example, I won't take the name of the vendor, but online backup programs, right? So that's where your application will be there on the desktop, which will keep on copying your data to some location. But have you ever asked that vendor that where exactly is the data physically going to reside? Is it in India or is it somewhere else? So that's one of the first questions that I'll ask. How safe is my data? Like what kind of security measures are being taken? For example, we have like one of our regions which is into investigations have come across a case where the company projected as they are an MNC, but actually it was a in-house company which was providing cloud services, and they had absolutely no kind of security measures. So that's where a data breach took place, and when the actual investigation was carried out, it was found out that it was simple residential property where the servers were hosted, no security and nothing. So legal issues, how does licensing work? Licensing is one of the major problems in cloud. Management, performance, and some other issues. I'll skip this part because there is a lot of things that come from the technical perspective. So probably I'll just skip this part, but I'll try to explain in brief what are the actual security problems that are there in the cloud infrastructure. So first thing that we are talking about is compliance part of it. So who is responsible for the compliance? I have my data residing with some provider, but who is going to take care of the compliance? Is it me or is it them? Should I take the ISO 27001 certification, or should the provider be there? And then comes is the gap part of it, that is applications information, all layers of the entire model, starting from application infrastructure and all. So the security management part of it, security controls and countermeasures. So if someone is going on the cloud, probably these are the specific areas which one should look into. So first comes is the firewall. So does your firewall taking right countermeasures to protect the infrastructure as well as the applications? Then comes is the IDS IPS if it is properly configured. Then comes is the integrity monitoring, whether there are right kind of programs to monitor the integrity. If something goes wrong, if a RAID drive fails, then what is the countermeasure, or what is the kind of control that is there to prove that the data integrity stays the same. Then comes is the log inspections, that is if there is proper audit trail maintained, the logs themselves will keep on telling a lot of things about who has been accessing the data, how they have been accessing it, and if there are any breaches that have taken place. Just to give a small example, you all might have heard about a virus, or a worm rather, called as Stuxnet. Okay, Stuxnet was a malicious program which was used to target the SCADA systems. Recently, about a year back, Government of India also came to know that some of their programs were hit because of Stuxnet, and a lot of losses were incurred. But it was just a few months back, just last year. So this came into picture because they started going through the log trail. So log is something that can be, that can be very much helpful. Software controls and measures, like if you have right kind of softwares to prevent the malwares attacking the data. Data security controls and measures, security deployment considerations. So just cutting down to the chase, what should be the approach towards securing data on the cloud? What should be the approach in securing yourself on the cloud? So this is a multiple layer approach which is there. The security should always percolate through the layers. So you start with the information governance. That is, you should have policy, you should have compliance, you should have identity management, remediation and reporting. Now this particular layer, the entire the approach should percolate down to the next layer, which is the information intelligence layer, and then comes the information infrastructure layer, where network application and all these things comes into picture. So this is a classic approach towards the cloud security, or a vanilla based approach, I will say. It's not a proprietary approach by anyone. So if you actually follow this approach, yes, a lot of problems will be solved, and I think that's what was my whole point, and I should pass it on to the next speaker because I think we are running short of time, right? So thanks.
Thanks, Anshul.